So, you're looking to buy a classic car? Well, here are some good, bad, and uglies about buying a classic car in 2025. Oh, oops, sorry, I didn't see you there. But first we're gonna start off with the good. First thing, the experience. You will never get an experience like driving a classic car. If you're into cars and you've driven a classic car, you know what I mean. There's nothing that can match it. There's nothing that can beat it. It's just, there's a sense of when you get into it, it takes you back to a certain memory of either being a kid or honestly, sometimes it even takes you back to feeling like you're in the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. You will never get that vibe any other time in a new car ever. And I promise you that. You just never will. There's something about it. Just the raw feeling of just you in the road, nothing protecting you. It's just the car and an engine. That's it. What's nice about a classic car is you're able to start from a clean slate. You're able to take your vision of whatever you want and just put it on to your car. The experience of learning on how to work on a car, classic cars are perfect for that. They're super easy. They're just nuts and bolts. There's nothing else to them. There's no technology in them. There's no wiring that you gotta worry about, tuning, this, that. It's just engine, car, that's it. If you're a father and you're looking to do a father-son project, this is perfect. It's basically kind of what I did with my dad. We built this car from the ground up. And had a lot of fun along the way. Not saying it's easy all the time, because trust me, there are times where you just want to sell it or honestly just catch it on fire and just let it go. It's not always going to be the best experience, but that's with any car. What's nice about classic cars is that they will always hold the value. My dad always said from the start, they make 6-cylinder or V8 Mustangs. I said, well, why not just a 6-cylinder? Because it's cheaper and I don't really care because I'm just gonna put a V8 in it. And he said, no, like if you're gonna, ever sell it later down the road, you're gonna want a V8 car. It's worth more money. Mustangs, period, 6-cylinder or V8, they're still always pulling in $5-6 grand in awful conditions. But what's nice about, classic cars is they never depreciate really. No matter how crappy you make it, it will always still have some sort of value. Unlike a new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's already depreciated $5,000, $10,000 right off the lot. You haven't even done anything to it. So, but what's nice about classic cars is when you go and modify it, all those things that you put onto it, they just keep adding on to the price that you could just later on sell it on Facebook Marketplace. I bet you I could sell this car right now for probably 15 grand. 15, maybe 20, but I'm never gonna do that. But it's nice to know that I have that option if I ever wanted to. You might think, oh, hell no, I would never spend that much money on that car. You'd be surprised. I mean, it's got full Wilwood suspension. Underneath is fully undercoated. QA1 coilovers. There's a lot done to this car. And it doesn't look like much, but there's actually a lot of money and time put into it. And all that adds up when you go to sell a car. You will always get that value out of a classic, no matter what. What's nice about cars too is they're always affordable, for the most part. Depending on what parts you're deciding to put into them. If you're deciding to put OEM parts into a car, it's gonna be cheaper. But if you're deciding to upgrade, and depending on how far you want to upgrade it, it's gonna get more and more expensive. That's just how it goes. Any car, and it still goes for classic cars. If you really want a nice paint job, it's gonna be $5,000, $10,000, okay? If you have that money, great, do it. It all depends on your vision, and that's what's nice about them. You can make them whatever the heck you want. I mean, I always wanted my car to be a Trans Am, inspired racing car. I'm still not done with it. I still want to do a panhard bar, rear sway bar. That's another, $2 grand right there. So it all depends. But for the most part, they are affordable. It just depends on how much money you really want to put into them. Registration is another thing that's also affordable. If you get an antique or antique plate, you only have to get it inspected one time. You don't need to pass emissions. That doesn't matter. I'm not sure if that matters in like California or something, but around here you don't need to. You just need to get it inspected one time, and then each year you only have to register it once. And then it's like $100. That's it. You never have to get it inspected ever again. You just get it inspected one time, registration, and you're done. You just drive the car. Now, of course, depending on your insurance, they might put limits on it, like Hagerty. They might put like a 5,000 mile limit over the entire year, or maybe you might only be able to drive it a couple thousand miles a month or something like that. That part kind of stinks, but honestly, you're not driving this car in the winter with all the salt on the road. You're only gonna really mainly be driving it spring, definitely summer, maybe a little bit of fall. But you're not driving it in the rain, you're not driving it in the snow, you're only driving it when it's nice out. But that's also a plus, is they're super cheap to continue payments for. And they're already paid off. Like, once you buy it, you're done. The car's not costing you any money. If you don't want to drive it and it just sits in your garage, you don't need to pay anything. It's free. It just sits there. So that's what's nice about them too, is then any money that you're not spending on, getting it inspected each year and all that stuff, you're able to put into parts to keep the car on the road or to make it your dream car. They will always be cooler than new cars. End of story. If you had a classic car like this, and let's say an Audi TT, and they're next to each other at a stoplight, who's gonna turn more heads? Who are people gonna wanna actually see in traffic? They're gonna wanna look at this. You don't see them, especially when you're a young kid like me, like 18 years old or whatever. We're the next generation. We're the ones that have to save them, It's even cooler because like you get an old head that sees it and he's like, man, that just takes him back to being a kid in like the 60s, 70s and him driving this car back then. So, and what's nice is like when you're out in traffic, you kind of get a connection with everyone that drives by you. As everyone looks, they're giving you thumbs up. They're all like, they're loving it. They just love to see these old cars still going. So why not get a piece of that and get it yourself? You know what I mean? I mean, you will never not have someone giving you a thumbs up or shaking their head or loving it, telling you to do a burnout, revving it, whatever. I drive down into my local town, I have people, whoa, 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 like, and I love it because I do it back, but like, it's cool to know that your car, in no matter what condition, will always be cool and always be cooler than newer cars. I don't care what you got. I mean, my brother's Subaru, that's a fully built STI. And when we're driving together, people are not looking at the STI, they're looking at my car. There's nothing wrong with his car. His car is super badass and super fast, would wipe the floor with this thing, but it's just cooler. And people want to experience and want to look longer at something that they can't really see all the time. It's just scientific. I touched on it a little bit there, but we're saving history. I mean, we're the next generation coming up, and if we don't buy them and fix these cars, they're all just gonna rot away. I mean, this car's 56 years old. It's been through a lot, like, and it's cool because everything tells a story, and there's lots of stories that this car probably could tell. And it's cool to be able to say like, oh yeah, like I own that. I built that. I get to drive that. It's a different kind of feeling when you're the owner of it and you walk out into a parking lot that's filled with all these Teslas and blah, 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 and you see this sitting in the parking lot next to all of them. It's cool to be able to say like, I got to save that. I got to have a piece in this car's history to build it, to save it, whatever. And like I said, if us new gens, Gen Z, whatever, Alpha, if we don't save these cars, then who will? Because like my dad's age, he's getting older. They can only do so much for so much longer. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true. I mean, if we don't save the cars, they're not gonna be here much longer. Some of these cars are already getting to like 80, 90 years old. So they're cool. and they're always worth it, no matter what you do to them, and that's what's great about them. And that brings me to my next point, the bad. For example, there's always something wrong with them. Whether it's a missing piece, something's broken. For example, this car, I've put a lot of money into it, suspension-wise, and the car still twists. And it twists so much that it blows my oil filter on my engine, and it pukes the oil out everywhere. It's happened twice, so it does happen. To fix that, I need to do subframe connectors and different engine and transmission mounts because the car just twists so much. Okay, that's an example. 2, my blinkers don't work. I don't know why. I would have to figure it out. And to be honest, I don't really like electrical. My blinkers don't work. What else doesn't work? I don't know, there's definitely a lot more, but there's always something that's missing or something that's wrong. I don't have the rest of my dash. I don't have my door cards. I don't have my trim seals on the side there. There's problems with the braking system sometimes. Like I feel the pedal pushing back at me. I think my rear tail shaft is bent from my accident when I got rear-ended. There's always something. That's not the car's fault. That's the stupid girls behind me's fault. But still, there's always gonna be something with a classic car. Like I said, they're 56 years old. They're just a piece of metal and an engine. They're gonna have issues. It might leak oil. This leaks oil a little bit out of the drain plug. I need a new drain plug. The list goes on and on, but it depends on how nitpicky you wanna be and what condition you buy the car in. You know, if you wanna spend 30 grand, you get a really clean, you know, LS swapped Camaro from 1969, but you didn't build it. You didn't have any fun. You didn't have any part of saving that car, really. You're just driving it around now, which is good. But if you want to have that experience, I do recommend buying something that's almost like a hoopty and saving it. It's a lot more fun, a lot more connected to the car when you do it yourself. They're not practical. They're not fuel efficient at all. If you were to drive this thing on a 1,000-mile trip, you're probably gonna break down. I'm just being honest. I mean, you drive a new car 1,000 miles, you have hopes of getting there, like without any worries. You drive this 1,000 miles, you're gonna be worrying. You know, what's that smell? Why is there oil burning? Why is there gas leaking? Who knows? There's always something going on. They're not fuel efficient. As you know, gas prices are super crazy expensive right now. And this thing probably maybe gets 10 to 12 miles to a gallon if I'm just driving it good, which you don't want to drive it good. You just want to beat the crap out of it all the time. So they're not fuel efficient, and they're not practical. You can't fit anything in this trunk. There's no room. I mean, you open the trunk and it's a gas tank. Like, and of course I put a battery box back there for my battery relocation, but besides that, there's no space back there. You can't fit friends in the back seat. I mean, you could, if you really, really wanted to. They're better than my friend's Audi TT. I'll throw a clip in right now.
I can't drive this. I can't drive this.
But besides that, you can't really do too much practicality-wise. There's no heat, which actually I could put heat in this car. There is no AC, which I could also put AC in this car. But that goes back to how much money do you really want to put into it. Luckily, this car is actually originally an AC car, so it's got all the switches, it's got the fan and everything, and it actually works, shockingly, but it's got all the venting. So if I wanted to put AC into it, I would just have to hook it up and heat, same thing. So that's always, pricing sometimes can be a little outrageous. Depending on what parts you want, I've already kind of touched on this a little bit. You're gonna spend more or less. These brakes, these front Wilwood calipers and rotors, they were like $1,600-700. They're 6-piston drilled and slotted rotors. And that's just what I wanted for the car. Now, you don't have to do that. You could go out and buy OEM disc brakes from 1968 and that would be fine. They would work great, but it depends on how much performance you want to get out of it. If you want to trust your car more or more, because again, these cars don't have any safety. So if you crash, you could be cooked. You never know. And shop prices. If you're not doing it yourself, you're gonna be spending crazy money at a shop. I worked at a shop in Nazareth over here called Bill's, and it was crazy expensive. Their markup for like the workers, it was like $200 an hour. $200 an hour. Of course, like the cars that they were working on were really nice, but at that point, bro, you might as well just do it all yourself. I mean, like, why not learn? Why not get your hands dirty a little bit? It's not gonna hurt you. You can't mess anything up, and if you do, you could fix it. But you're actually spending less money if you do it yourself, and you're learning a lot more, getting a lot more connections with the car. And if you just wanna save more money in this economy, you're gonna need to do it yourself. And it's good to learn on a classic car, because if you can fix one of these, for the most part, you can fix a newer car. Besides electrical, because again, these don't really have too much electrical. Depending on the condition, they could be crazy expensive. Like I said, you could spend $30,000 to $20,000 on one of these cars, and that's just a crazy amount of money for an old car. Of course, it's probably in really good condition, but I don't really recommend that. I bought this car for $2,800, and look, I'm crawling around on it. You can never even do this in like a newer car. A new car, it wouldn't even hold your weight. It would just, the roof would just tin can. This, you could probably stand on the roof and it would be just fine. They're a lot stronger. They're all just metal and steel. That's it. There's no aluminum. And yeah, they can be crazy expensive, and I don't recommend doing that. Yeah, it's just, the market is kind of bad for classic cars. They could be either really expensive or really cheap. But for the most part, you will get your money's worth out of it no matter what. Like if you buy it for super cheap and you flip it, you will get more out of the car. I mean, that's what people, they got shows on TV, Netflix, YouTube, everywhere about it, because it's true. You could really flip these cars pretty cheap and make a lot of money out of them if you know what you're doing. Next part, but the sad truth, they're not crazy fast. If you were to pull up at a stop light next to this in a, you know, stock new 5.0, this thing will probably get walked. This car probably makes around 300 something wheel, and it feels fast. I mean, it's no doubt about it. I mean, it puts you back, it'll take you on a ride, because there's nothing to it. There's no traction control, there's no, stabilizers and all that crap that new cars have. It's just the car. I mean, it's just what it does. Like, it feels fast, and that's what's fun about it, because you don't need to be driving fast to feel like you're going fast. You already feel like you're going 100 miles an hour doing 60. But yeah, if you were to, you know, pull up at a stoplight, this thing will probably get walked by like a new stock GT. Not saying that they can't put up a fight though. These cars, I know for a fact, can really put some damage to new cars. But new power is just, you can't beat it. I mean, Teslas and Volvos, Audis, you know, they're all too quick. They have all this technology to put the power to the ground. And this just doesn't have that technology. It's just whatever the engine can make is what it produces. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a sad truth. But definitely it will still hold its own, depending on what you do to it. I definitely want this thing to have more power and handle a lot better than it does right now. So, but it all comes in time and money and knowledge. And finally, now to the ugly. They're not safe. They're really not. You know, you could really get yourself hurt in this car. You are taking a risk every time you get into a classic car. Driver, passenger, whatever. There is no ABS. There is no traction control. There is no airbags. You have a lap belt. You don't even have a belt over here. whatever that is, overhead belt, whatever. You could put a harness in it, you could put a roll cage in it, but there is nothing to save you in these cars. Like, you just better hope that whatever accident you're getting into is either really minor, or depending on how you crash, it'll, you know, it won't hurt you. I know when I got rear-ended, I was probably hit about 15 miles an hour. I didn't feel it. She went underneath me. She didn't even like, if she actually hit the back of my car like that, it would have hurt a lot more and the back would have been a lot worse. That's another good thing though. I mean, if you do get into an accident or like you hit it, you won't be able to really tell. These cars just take it and that's it. But they don't crumble. There's no crumble zones. There's nothing. There's no, what is that, OnStar or whatever the heck that Chevy's got when you get in an accident. It doesn't dial 911 for you. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you crash into the woods, you're cooked. Like you gotta get up and basically kind of save yourself because there's no one calling. It's not gonna call for you. And that's also kind of the nice part is that it makes the cars true to what they are, you know? The car is what it is. That's it. There's no way around it. Yeah, you're a naughty girl. Don't listen to them, baby. It's okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. There's the good, the bad, the ugly of classic cars and whether or not you should buy them. So thank you guys for watching. Please stay tuned for next week. Hopefully, maybe we'll do some stuff on the Supra or maybe some more tomfoolery with the Mustang. We'll see. But anyways, have a good weekend. Enjoy your week. Drive fast, take chances.
You find it?
No, all I remember, I handed it to you after I did that long run right now, and that was it. I don't ever remember you giving it back to me. I don't remember ever you giving it back to me, period.